Good morning, everyone. It's April 14th, 2019. I'm Eric. How's everyone doing today? I hope all of you are well. I have two to share with you in this one. Goldman recalibrates Fed forecast, no more rate hikes before 2020 election. And I touched on this one briefly yesterday. Today I'm going to cover it in full. The tragedy unfolding. This is all going to end badly. Central banks are trapped. One's from Max Lovell, the other from Tyler Durden. Okay, my thing about this article isn't the economy. We already know the state of the economy. What's telling to me is the before 2020 election part. We're going to hit some of it, key things, and we're going to talk about the possibilities of why they would want to stop rate hikes due to the 2020 election. Less than 6 months ago, the smartest men and women, we are sure, in the room at Goldman Sachs' prestigious economics department were in full hot-tard mode, forecasting 4 rate hikes in 2019, providing cover for a desperate to get back to normal Fed's rate trajectory guesses. Since then, Jesus and his honchos have slowly but surely folded to the market's view, with his latest note proclaiming, with no smile on their face, that growth will be better than they expected in 2019 and 2020, but pushing back their forecast for the next rate hike from 2020 Q1 or quarter 1 to 2020 quarter 4. Listen, these people think we're going to see some kind of magical growth. How can we be seeing growth and growth in the economy and thousands of stores closing? They don't live in the same universe. How can they? The excuses that Jesus, I think, is right, uses this time for their even more dovish tilt, despite rosier growth forecasts, are simple, no inflation and Trump. I told you that him owing all these Jewish bankers billions of dollars was a serious conflict of interest, and here we are. Despite the market's insistence that the Fed will cut rates next, Goldman insists the next move is much more likely to be a rate hike, but not until 2020. Finally, Goldman does not expect every FOMC participant to sympathize with all of their arguments when the time comes to revisit rate hikes. And some are already comfortable with a no lean policy stance, and some will be comfortable keeping rates on hold even under the economic conditions we envision. But we do not think these considerations will be persuasive enough to they kind of butchered this sentence. They didn't think the considerations were persuasive enough to the committee that the most likely compromise after the 2020 elections, will be a very graceful pace of further tightening, beginning with a rate hike in December 2020 and continuing with another rate hike in 2021. Why, if Donald Trump wasn't meant to win in the last election, why are they setting it up for him to win in the 2020 elections? That's what this is. They don't want to do any more damage to the economy because they want Donald Trump to be reelected. And why do they want Donald Trump to be elected? Because Donald Trump owes them billions and billions of dollars. And again, I've read Donald Trump's books. I don't have any personal problem with the dude. I just don't like the idea of leaders. They are always corrupted, always. Without fail, throughout our history, the leaders of great nations are corrupted. And they make great nations into fucking shithole places with fascist governments that murder and steal from the population. And that's exactly the conditions we are living in now. Now, this one goes with it. A trajectory unfolding. This is all going to end badly. Central banks are trapped. And that's Max Slavo. According to Sven Hendrich, the founder and lead market strategist for NorthmanTrading.com, this regulation of the economy by the central banks is all going to end badly. The fact of the matter is simple. Central banks are hopelessly trapped. Henrich says that it's only a matter of time before investors learn the hard way that this sudden capitulation by central banks is not a positive sign, but rather a sign of desperation. In a recent article he wrote for his website, NorthmanTrading.com, Henrich says this economic manipulation by the central banks is going to end badly. And even all the people out there, pretending everything's okay, will freely admit that this is the case. According to him, the implications of our regulated economy. The Fed stopping here is an admission of failure. Full normalization would crash global equities. Central banks are trapped and are forced to remain accommodative. Central bank policy is still in crisis mode. It's all a propped up shell game. And that it is. The capitulation is as complete as it is global, and 10 years after the financial crisis, and I disagree, it's not after. I think we've had 10 years worth of financial crisis. There is not a single central bank that has an exit plan, as today's Fed minutes again highlighted. No rate hikes in 2019, while the tech sector is making a new all-time human history high this week. What an absurdity. A slowing economy ignored by markets as cheap money once again dominates everything. In their desperation to cling to wealth and power that they created, central banks may have set a combustion process in motion that they can't stop. One that may bring about even more ghastly consequences than the market troubles they sought to avert in the first place. And, that's how government is. Anytime government gets involved with anything, they ruin it. I know the Federal Reserve is not a government entity, but they are acting on the behalf of the government. So, you had the war on drugs, utter failure, war on terror, utter failure, and they were never meant to be successes either. So, anyway, I thought I'd share this with you because I find it to be very telling that they're waiting until after the 2020 elections to do any more rate hikes. And that means, what that says to me is they are trying to keep Donald Trump exactly where he is. Now, I know I said a few videos back that I didn't think he would be reelected. Make no mistake about it. Our elections are not democratic, and your president is picked for you. You people out there, you just fall for all of the brainwashing, all of the propaganda, all of the mainstream media's bullshit. You really believe you have a say-so, and you don't. Hope everyone has a great day. Till next time, kill the state, live free.